this offense started out great. The first 2 quarters, they couldn't miss, but they weren't. I mean, anyone who's watched the Niners offense for a long time knows that like they were burning the Lions with standard stuff. I mean, just stuff they've been doing for a long time. It wasn't like shocking. It wasn't like the Panthers game from 2 years ago. It was just like, oh, you've never seen the play action throw over the middle of Debo? Well, you're going to lose. Okay, so that was great. 31 points. And then since then, it's been a lot more difficult. 27 points the last 6 quarters. And I think what we've seen, Josh Norris posted this, tweeted this, and you went on with him. He's really, really smart. From afar, he basically said, what this offense is 2 weeks in is screens, runs, control the time of possession as best as you can, and wait for Debo to make a play and be special. And he's saying, like, that's a dangerous game to play when you're going up against better teams. And basically, they're doing the bare minimum right now on offense to win. I totally freaking agree with him. What do you think?
I agree with that too. I think this offense has to play better. I mean, I still don't know how good Philadelphia's defense is. I know a lot of people jump on that Atlanta performance and say, oh, they played really well. Well, Brandon Graham got hurt pretty early in this football game.
True.
Brandon Graham's an impact player on defense. And Atlanta's offensive line, let's say what it is. It sucks. It sucks. I know a lot of people thought the Niners' offensive line was bad last year. Atlanta would pay everything of their franchise worth to have the Niners offensive line from last year. It is terrible. And the Eagles defensive line kicked their butts. Well, so I don't know how good this Eagles defense is. I'd love to see them go against even their division teams. I'd love to see how they handle Dallas. I'd love to see how they handle even like the Giants or the Redskins, or excuse me, the Washington football team, because I'm not sure that this Eagles defense is that good, because I think they have weaknesses, especially at linebacker. I think their corners outside of Slay, I think Steven Nelson is pretty good, but I think he can be had. And I think their safeties also aren't like just groundbreakers. So I think overall, Eagles defense isn't that great, but I think this offense just has to play better. I think the big thing is we thought this offense would run the ball better. They just keep losing running backs. Like with Raheem Mostert, I feel like this offense would look a lot better because he makes things go.
You get a guaranteed 9 yards on first down. It makes it all so much easier.
It makes it go. I think number two, we expected George Kittle to be getting the ball more. George Kittle has had an unbelievable season blocking. He's been an unbelievable blocker 2 games into this season. He feels lost in the pass game. I thought the Eagles did a lot of things to make sure he didn't get a part of this game. But I thought the Lions game, it felt like Debo, and it felt like Kittle just fell out of, the game plan and the structure and where they were going with that. Juszczyk, we haven't seen any leak plays and trying to get him open in the pass game and use him. And the big other thing is the fourth guy for this offense, the guy that was supposed to make this offense, when you look at their 3 weapons, it's as good as anybody has in the NFL. To go with Debo and Kittle is Ayuk. And we have not seen Ayuk be involved in any capacity with this offense. We've not seen him used in jet sweep game. We have not seen him used in screen game, anything like that, utilizing his after the catch ability, all of that. So overall, to me,
I wonder what's up with Sermon. I mean, okay, he may have fumbled a couple of times in practice. You're being tough. He looked good in his first carry, and to only give Mitchell carries for 2 games, I mean, use a committee. Let him compete and show you what you got. But anyway, so real quick, 2 things that I questioned is like, first of all, are you playing your best players on offense consistently? Because if you're not doing. I mean, you're putting the rest of your team at a disadvantage. They have to make up for that. And the other thing I wanted to say was, I forget, but it was a good point, and I'll figure it out eventually. It was great.
And I think the reason this is such a topic of conversation, the offense did more than enough to win both of these games. I don't think that's the problem. Certainly. But when you play a team like Arizona, what they have with their front defensively, you play Seattle with Bobby Wagner, you play the Rams. Screen game, run game, not going to get it done. You're going to have to evolve more and have a more explosive element to their offense. And to me, right now, in simplest form, the 49ers offense looks like Debo Samuel or bust.
Right. And so I guess what we're saying is, the other thing I wanted to say, okay, so I'm questioning whether he's using his best players on offense. I'm questioning where's the creativity? Like, and maybe it's not that Kyle Shanahan's like asleep on the job. I'm not saying that, but maybe it's just that he's sort of taken this Jimmy Garoppolo offense as far as it can go. What more wrinkles can he? How many ways can you throw the ball within 10 yards in the line of scrimmage? How many? How many different ways can you run the ball? I mean, it seems like he's done it. And I think what we thought was Trey Lance is going to unlock all this creativity, and he will eventually, theoretically. But right now, I don't know how much more creativity you can unlock with this skill set at quarterback.
And that might be the case. I think the other indication is maybe Kyle Shanahan is coaching in the sense that he does not want to risk creativity for creativity's sake. If his offense needs to play like that, if he feels that his defense is struggling in a game, maybe that's when he'll start to unleash and start pushing and creating things for his offense. Maybe he's trying to coach within himself and say, look, my defense is playing good. We're not playing that good teams. I just want to make sure my offense isn't turning the football over. And I want to get runs in. I want to ball control. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'd love to wait and see how this offense looks after 5, 6 weeks. Just see what the Ayuk situation is there. See maybe if they get Kittle more involved. But right now, the one good thing is, and I'm feeling great about it because he's my favorite player in the NFL. Deebo Samuel looks special.
Absolutely. He's looking like he's going to have an all-time Niner season. My only thing with Kyle, and I keep coming back to Kyle because I always dump on Jimmy. And it's like, what about Kyle? Hold on. It's an offensive thing right now. This week, the defense gets their flowers and the offense gets a little bit of, I don't know, inspection. What's going on here? Is it a problem? And I don't think Jimmy's the problem right now. Now he's not the long-term solution, but to me, what happened week 1 is they scored a lot of points. So I mean, I don't know what happened in the second half, but what happened week 2 was his run game wasn't great. And it made everything very difficult. Usually his run game is almost unstoppable no matter who he's going against. And he got really, I mean, Cordell Patterson had more success than these guys had against the Eagles. So I think it's fair to say, Kyle, we expect you. I mean, maybe it's a high bar, but we have high expectations for you. We have low expectations for Jimmy to the point where we applaud quarterback sneaks. Hell of a quarterback sneak, but no, Kyle, you're the best. We expect more than 17 points. We expect more than 3.1 yards per carry because you're so good. So good. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And honestly, that would be my best guess, just going back, that they're just trying to make sure that they're coaching within themselves. They don't want to risk anything with this offense at this point because they don't want to lose games that they should win. And they did that a lot last year. If you go back and look, the games they lost with Nick Mullins, obviously Mullins turned the ball over like it was his job to turn the ball over all of those games. But their defense was shutting teams down. The Washington football team could not move the ball for a second half. They shut down Arizona. They shut down Seattle in that second game in Arizona. And really, I mean, obviously Beathard hurt at quarterback, Mullins hurt at quarterback, but it felt like if they played offense the way they played the last 2 weeks, they could have possibly won a couple of those games because they wouldn't have put Mullins in situations to give away those games. And so I think maybe that was kind of their introspection after this offseason, that if our defense is playing this well, there's no need for us to go excess. And
I guess all I would say as quality control is when you have your foot on a team's throat, end it. And I feel like you had it on the throat of the Lions at halftime. And I mean, you never really had it on the Eagles' throat, but they had 3 points by the end of they had 3 points till late. Those should have been quick, like clean wins. And because they weren't, you were fighting hard in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The other team was fighting hard in the fourth quarter. There's casualties. And maybe those would have happened anyway, but that's the only thing I'm saying. Kyle, put games away, for crying out loud.
No, I agree. I agree with you. And I have one question for you then based on it, because I thought the offense in general was sluggish most of this game. They were able to fight through and get those drives, but they were sluggish. Do you think if Kyle Shanahan asked more of this offense, things could have fallen apart? Like Jimmy maybe comes off play action. There's just because there was timing was off
this in a minute with the Trey Lance thing. But my whole thing was like, look, if you don't trust Trey Lance to throw, I don't understand that, because he did throw a touchdown. He looked just fine against the Lions. But just as a way to get your running game going, bring Trey Lance in for a handoff, see what happens. You don't even have to let him. He doesn't even have to run. But just the threat of him, people are going to be looking at him. Let him hand off from the gun, from the under center. See if something happens. If that's all you have to do, just give it a shot. It's an experiment.
Silly me, but excuse me. I thought that this was the game that he was tailor-made for. Everything was sluggish. The team needed that juice and energy. Just bring him on, have him run a quick read option play or a zone.
How did they use him against the Raiders?
Like that.
How did they use him against the Raiders? What did he do against the Raiders? He handed off. Handed off a million times. But why not? Your average carry couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I thought that would be the way to get juice, but I don't know. I don't know. They won, so